What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Unfiltered Information Podcast. This is episode 5. I'm here with my guest. You know him, Sully.
What up?
The first time we did it, it was just audio. Told you we had the fire. We thought we'd get a fire going again. And, yeah. Let's just get right to it. There's a lot of shit going down right now. The world is in a state of complete turmoil with this coronavirus. It seems like every time I look at the news now, there's just not a new case, but a new celebrity who it's affecting. You know what I mean?
We're pretty close to martial law, aren't we?
In my opinion, I think it's only a matter of time. I mentioned earlier in the car ride, QAnon. If anyone's familiar with Q or the work that they do with Donald Trump and the government and the military, they're saying that a lot of shit's about to come down, like a lot. And I think it's going to topple the establishment, man, honestly. A lot of arrests are coming, I think, during the martial law, if it does happen.
Well, arrests? What do you mean?
Like, government officials related to the pedophilia that's going on with the elite. That's what QAnon's really kind of getting at here, that a major arrests are coming to a lot of known people.
What do you mean by QAnon?
QAnon's like basically a group of military generals and government officials. It's like kind of like, Anonymous.
Yeah.
Like that group.
Let's not get too much into Anonymous because they are sellouts. But
all right, well,
just
I don't know enough about that.
They're just trying to scare people and make money off ads.
I could see that.
They're a bunch of losers in a sense.
QAnon basically, they're just a collective of military and government officials who are against the kind of like, oh freaking Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's best way to describe it is kind of like the rebels in Star Wars versus the Empire. They're kind of like on the side of change. You know, kind of Donald Trump's promoting. Under Donald Trump, there's been over 10,000 arrests for child sex trafficking, more than any president in U.S. history. He's really cracking down on this, and QAnon saying that during the martial law that's coming up, forced quarantines for people, that a lot of arrests of high public officials are going to be made.
That would be convenient. It would also be a pretty convenient time for the stock market to crash.
Got that right.
No.
Invest in stocks and Bitcoin, folks. Just do it. Best time to do it.
Also, real quick, use fucking hand sanitizer and wash your hands. Because you won't die if you're young, but your fucking grandparents will, and you will be at their funeral. So, Conor McGregor's aunt just died off that shit. So,
yeah. It's crazy how celebrities are getting this shit, dude.
Tom
Hanks? What?
When Tom Hanks had it, that's when I was like, all right, shitheads, hit the
yeah, because I was thinking, bro, until like that.
Forrest Gump got it, dude.
Until that, I was like, all right, maybe this is kind of like a forced thing to get the public scared, riled up, you know what I mean? Like, I just think of the conspiratorial side of it. But then Tom Hanks and his wife, I'm like, whoa. He saved Lieutenant Dan, bro, and he's got corona? That's crazy.
He also, helped end the Vietnam War. Fucking
ping pong champion.
Yeah, I mean,
that man's got a resume under his belt.
Jokes aside, though, we don't have enough tests to see who has it or not, so this is a way more serious thing. And I've had meetings with high-ranking doctors at different schools. Just one. I'm not trying to say I've had different schools.
He's got sources here, folks.
One
He's got sources.
school I scheduled a meeting with the doctor, and I asked him outright, why the hell don't we have more test kits? What is the shortage on test kits? And he goes, I literally can't tell you an answer. It makes no sense. He goes, that I cannot tell you. It makes no sense why we don't have test kits.
Oh, Jesus, I did not mean to do that. Now, my question is with the test kits, is it a urine test? Is it a throat swab? Is it a blood test?
Sure.
What is it,
That's why we should have a tech guy here to look shit up.
We definitely need a young Jamie for us here.
Yeah.
That's coming soon, hopefully.
Or
if anyone wants to be a tech genius, let me know.
Like a Frankie on those pizza reviews.
Frankie.
It's a 4. Never gone higher than a 4. But in all seriousness, this year has sucked.
2020 in a nutshell has been a big pile of steaming shit for most of the world.
But
hey, the plus side, we're 4 years in with Trump, and we still have experienced no war.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a win any day.
Getting real sick of the Trump hating. Just on a lot of people's parts. People are blaming him for things that wouldn't even make sense. I've literally seen articles on the Daily Mail. Trump's umbrella falls out of his hand coming out of Air Force One.
Worst
I literally would
president
share
ever.
it and I would comment, Oh no, what are we going to do? His umbrella didn't open, or whatever it was.
The problem is when they don't have something to bash somebody for, you have to make it. You have to make shit up.
But they're also
a
they're
stretch.
also saying he didn't do enough for Corona, and it's like it gets to a point where are you gonna start blaming him for everything, or are you just gonna look at the U.S. government as a collective whole?
That's the thing. The executive branch is, in fact, one branch of the fucking government. It's not. It's not the.
And
Alrighty.
he's declared it the most emergency that it could be. He's donated his fourth term salary, which isn't much, but he also set forth an $8 billion program. He's cut payroll taxes. What's the thing you said today?
The student loan forgiveness for federal grants, for federal student loans. He's cut all the interest rates while this is going on.
So
I mean, that's the closest to Bernie Sanders we can get.
that's the guy everyone calling Hitler. So.
Yeah, the man who has
Bernie
avoided war.
Sanders is Joseph Stalin. I mean, Jesus, he is a communist. Socialism, the closest
But hey,
thing to it.
I guess that's better
Let's-
than having
Let's
public.
redistribute the wealth. Let's redistribute America's wealth.
Man, I'll tell you, I really wish Andrew Yang was still in there. I was vibing with Andrew Yang. Not just because of the universal income. I have mixed opinions on that. But the fact that he was shedding light on the fact that we're in a new industrial revolution with technology, and people don't seem to realize it.
I didn't look into Andrew Yang much.
I know you're anti-Democrat for the most part.
No, I'm not.
Well, I am. So I just, I shouldn't have
I
to do
just
that.
simply, is it wrong of me to not want Joe Biden in office?
No, I mean, I don't want someone with dementia. I do not want someone with dementia to be president. They're doing the same thing they did with Hillary. Hillary Clinton was passing out when she was running for president. There's video of her having seizures, and they claimed it was like pneumonia. So I've had pneumonia. You know what I didn't
What was
do?
with the whole Mike Bloomberg thing? Did anyone really consider him? Or did he just waste $1 billion?
He wasted $500 million for no reason.
I heard
guess.
it's reported $500 million, and a lot of people are saying it's a lot more.
I could see it because, dude, for weeks on end, every ad on YouTube was Mike Bloomberg.
Was that just a meme, or was there legitimate ads on Pornhub for Mike Bloomberg? That might have been a
honestly,
meme. Don't get me wrong,
it
that
could be
could be fake.
50-50.
But like,
Could be 50-50.
this man definitely thought, what's everyone watching? Porn. Males and females. Girls lie about it too.
America loves porn, man. The world loves porn. It's kind of crazy.
You know what's pretty crazy is when that false alarm text went out to Hawaii.
Oh, the
The,
interballistic missiles coming to them.
Yeah. Heads up, an interballistic
Yeah.
missile is coming to a local house near you.
That guy's
And-
got to feel like a piece
and
of
then-
shit.
Pornhub's spiked in that hour.
Did
Like
it?
500%.
Jesus. Now that's
Spiked.
correlation.
Everyone
right
just
there.
started watching porn. It's like, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out with a nut. Good for them.
Best way to go out, I guess.
I'm going to go out and get my nut.
I bet your local drug dealer sales bumped up too in that hour.
Holla. Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
What else has happened? Kobe's dead.
Kobe is dead.
R.I.P. One of the saddest moments.
That's what we were talking about on the podcast the other night before we started. We were talking about how Kobe died, Juice WRLD died. Now if Tom Hanks dies, that's 3 fucking big names in 3 months, 2 months.
I hate the whole, like, 9 other people died too. Why aren't you talking about them? It's like, to the person who said that, why aren't you talking about the millions of people who died today too? Because we don't know them.
Yeah.
We knew Kobe. He was nasty. He was Kobe. That's why everyone's sad, you dick.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't feel bad for the kids who are dying in Afghanistan and Africa and around your own neighborhood. The little kid who just drowned in the pool. Probably look at that article and just keep scrolling. You know what I mean? Like, people are upset about Kobe. People paid money to go see him. He was a,
That's an idol of many people's eyes.
Kobe is
Yeah.
some people's idols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, none of those people on the helicopter.
This is a tough transition here, but speaking of famous people who have passed, last time you were on, you were talking about the soaked in bleach with Cobain.
Yeah. You taken the
Man.
opportunity to watch that, didn't you?
I watched that documentary 2 times, and wow, did that
That's-
man not kill himself?
And that's why we're here, isn't it? Okay.
That's one of the big topics I wanted to cover here. We got a little list here. You guys know me. I keep a little list just in case we get the stalemate. So one of the topics I wanted to talk about was Cobain's suicide.
okay.
Jeffrey knows a lot more than I do on this topic. He's very fucking informed with it. I'm gonna let him read a few little notes here on Cobain.
So, Kurt Cobain, you guys don't know,
Nirvana.
the lead singer of Nirvana. He started a new genre of music referred to as grunge music. It was a little heavy, so a lot of people our age probably wouldn't like him. start off, Cobain was a happy kid. He was easily satisfied, entertained. Diagnosed with ADHD and later on bipolar. Age of 9, parents divorced. After that, somewhat turned into like a dark child. He didn't want to participate in sports and stuff like that. 13, began smoking weed, which evidently turned into LSD, and then as he got older, into his 20s, heroin. And his parents couldn't handle him anymore, so they sent him away to live with his friends who were born again Christians. And okay, well that's no good. You can't have to doing that. You shut your mouth.
Unfiltered, folks. Unfiltered.
Hold on. There's people out there, that's why.
Anything can happen. We're live, folks. We're live. Bear with us.
Can you handle that? He taught himself the guitar, played the piano, also had a drum set, was very musically inclined, creative genius, if you would. He just started a band and stuff like that, you know, he slowly just typical came up, people started liking his music. He lived in a town where there was a bunch of grunge bands. His era was, there was a bunch of grunge bands. They were all not battling, they all had respect for each other, but they definitely were competing. He had this weird thing where he had horrible stomach pain. He had
Chronic stomach pain.
chronic stomach pain.
Crippling.
His side effects were excruciating. Like the pain was just excruciating, and it just so he used heroin to cope with it. Now I'll tell you what. When I have a stomach ache, I don't go shoot heroin.
I have to agree with you on that one.
I'm not saying he did the right thing, but just saying. That was his logic. He was a junkie, but he was a good junkie. And now here's where we get to Courtney Love.
Courtney fucking Love
is an evil woman.
It is my opinion. I speak for Jeffrey. I assume too that she has played a gigantic role in the suicide or attempted murder. Who knows of Kurt Cobain?
So basically, what's the guy's name again? Grant something.
Tom Grant.
Tom Grant. So basically, Kurt Cobain.
If I got it right, I can read it for you if you want.
Yeah. You want to? Do you have?
I took notes on the thing.
Do you have any of the dates? That
I have dates. Yeah. So Tom Grant was hired in 1994 by Courtney Love to find the missing Kurt Cobain. He was a former officer for the LA police before becoming a private investigator, and he met with Courtney Love one time initially, and as soon as he met with her, he got the feeling that she was not being honest with him. So he decided to record every single interaction between the two of them.
Every single one.
From then on.
And so here are some things that we learned from this documentary. By the way, documentary Soaked in Bleach. You can find it on Amazon Video.
It's on YouTube too, folks.
On YouTube.
Great hour.
Reputable sources, not bullshit. Reputable sources.
Soaked in bleach.
He is held to one of the highest standards.
Yeah.
He has reputable sources come on to the documentary.
Toxicologists.
He literally, they literally say like usually private investigators become private investigators because they have you light yourself on fire because they have a past that fucked up their police
work.
Their law enforcement job, so now they're a private investigator. This guy was literally just clean. He just loved his job so much. So a couple facts. Courtney was very, very jealous of Kurt because Kurt had the glory. She was famous too. She did her own thing. She had plenty of money, but them combined, in a sense, was a little Jay-Z, Beyonce kind of thing. Of course, not as drastic, but she was very jealous of him. She wanted to know his every move. She was essentially a psychotic girlfriend. She talked about divorce all the time. She talked about how she would easily win a custody battle. They had a little kid, by the way. And ow, the smoke in my eye. And she just seemed to be pointing the private investigator in the wrong direction.
I think it's important to say why she hired him in the first place, though.
To find Kurt.
Kurt was missing at the time in 1994, around Easter.
They wanted him to find Kurt. And what Courtney did was she had in my opinion, everyone on her payroll. She had so much money.
LA Police
And
Department.
All of Kurt's friends were dependent on heroin. Everyone who was associated with Courtney was dependent on heroin. They looked at Courtney, they saw a heroin supply.
Tom also mentioned that very, very in depth, saying that every time he met with Courtney, she was always seemed to be under the influence of some sort of substance.
And so Courtney wanted this private investigator basically on record to say that she hired a private investigator so it wouldn't look sketchy. Except she fucked up big time. Because she was sending him to the wrong places, but every time she was with, say hi to the dog.
What's up?
Um,
Oh, wait.
every time she sent him somewhere, he was accompanied by Dylan, which is Kurt's friend. Now Dylan is kind of just like they dramatize him in the documentary. He's just kind of a junkie,
Full-blown heroin addict.
full-blown heroin
And I
addict.
can't speak on the actual man himself, but from the dramatization,
I'm
it seems
talking
like
before they meet up, he'll walk to a payphone and call Courtney and say what to say to the PI. PI would be like, well, who was that? Like, who are you talking to? He goes, oh, I was just talking to Courtney and stuff like that. And she was just, it's hot
that was a
actually.
bold move.
She was just leading him in the wrong direction. Eventually, she sent him to Kurt's house to look. And they had this thing called the green room, which was basically a room above a garage. And Courtney sent the private investigator, Tom Grant, to Kurt's house at like very, very late at night, so you couldn't see.
They
So
were
you
looking.
couldn't.
They were looking for a shotgun at the time.
The green,
because
yeah, they were looking for a shotgun.
Courtney
They-
claimed Kurt was already suicidal at the time,
and Dylan said that he was not suicidal at all. Said that was complete
as
horseshit.
did Kurt's other band members. Not saying
No
he
one,
was suicidal.
no one said he was suicidal.
In
Courtney,
fact,
Courtney created that notion out of her. Basically took it right out of her asshole.
Now I'll
Just
make
create
a disclaimer. If you listen to Nirvana's music, it is pretty, Jeffrey said, grunge-like, but it is also kind of, you can see the depression and then the suicidal maybe. But what Kurt's band members said about it was that it was just all kind of a persona to sell the records and to make the songs. He wasn't actually truly feeling those feelings.
He was happy. His stomach pain finally went away. He was trying to get away from Courtney. He was just trying to be with his little daughter, Frances Bean. His daughter's name is Frances Bean Cobain, and she's fucking something else right now. But yeah, man, she sent him to this green room. I'm sorry, she sent him to Kurt's house, and it was too dark. The private investigator didn't know where to look. He looked and looked and looked, and he found nothing. And then the next day, all over the news, Kurt Cobain found dead, suicide. And he goes, well, where did we find him? At his house. What do you mean? We were at his house last night. Why didn't you tell me about this other room? Like they had no reason for it. They purposely brought him to the house so they could say that they took him to the house, but they just didn't show him where the body was.
Now, the reason all of this is so important is because when Kurt was found, as many people know, he shot himself with a shotgun, is the official story. And what's really important to know is that there was a toxicology report ran on him after his death, and it was found that there was 1.52 milligrams of heroin per liter of blood in his body. Now, basically, what that correlates to is 3 times the lethal dose of heroin in his body, to say the least, to make it short and sweet. My thing is, maybe he did all that heroin so he'd feel numb before he committed suicide. But if you're taking 3 times the normal overdose rate of heroin, you're not going to be able to hold a shotgun.
You're not. It's impossible.
It's just not possible or logical.
Also, let me get into this. At the scene, at the day of the death, Tom Grant, respected police officer, went over to the investigation being followed at that time. Went over to the crime scene. He goes, I have very valuable information. I would like to speak to the person in charge. And the head detective didn't want to talk to Grant. Very unethical. Police were very quick to rule it a suicide, which Tom Grant and a couple other respected people on the documentary all said it was the first time they'd ever seen a case be ruled a suicide so quickly. It makes no sense. That same head detective was fired a couple months later due to collision with another case, and he stole money. So we know him to be a bad seed. And also, The detective refused to believe any of Grant's strong pieces of evidence. After the death, the Seattle PD did the following. Now, I want people to actually listen to this, because this isn't a lie. They allowed Kurt Cobain to be cremated 6 days after the investigation. They waited 30 days to process the shotgun, and then gave it to Courtney Love to have it melted down.
Hold on, I gotta stop you right there. They gave the widow of the man who had just committed suicide the shotgun used to kill himself. I've never heard anything like that in my fucking life.
And they allowed the greenhouse, that, once again, if you guys remember, the greenhouse was a garage, a room on top of a garage, away from the house, and the PI didn't know about it, right? So that's how Kurt died in that room. They allowed that to be torn down and destroyed, right? And also, all the photos of the scene to this day are held by the Seattle Police Department, which is extremely unusual. After this documentary came out, they ended up releasing more photos, but like, it's basically just like they're just like teasing us.
Yeah, move that Purell. That's just gonna catch on fire. It's in your socket. I mean, your socket, your pocket. I'm tweaking.
I mean, it's just complete horseshit, people.
Now you might be asking yourself, why are we talking about Kurt Cobain? Reason being is because one, Soaked in Bleach is one of the greatest documentaries I think I've ever seen. It's so cutthroat, gets right to the point, shows you exactly what could have happened, and it's just everyone knows who Kurt Cobain is. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's time for the alternate view of what actually may have perspired that day to come out.
And we're talking about the death. It shouldn't matter who it is.
Yeah,
someone died and it was covered up, regardless of who it is. And Cobain had, like Josh said, 3 times the lethal amount of heroin in his body. He wouldn't have been able to shoot his shotgun. One of the first responders had said that typically, typically in general, with a shotgun wound to the head, a person's facial features would be unrecognizable. However, one of the first responders recounts that he was recognizable, and his face and head were not deformed like it should have been. And
should have been as in getting a shotgun to the face.
Yeah. And the media played a huge important part in misinforming the public. In the documentary, they mentioned how there was a quote from Kurt's suicide letter that talks about not wanting to live anymore. And as we said, his friend said that wasn't true.
Speaking of the letter, it's important to note that Courtney Love was found with a practice letter of the suicide.
There was a practice letter found.
Meaning there was letters that were traced out, very obviously looking like she was practicing how to write out.
Handwriting.
Yeah, exactly.
They were practicing how to be Kurt.
Like if that's the only part of evidence that you guys want to kind of stick to, it's that one.
And also, the shotgun was found upside down, with his left hand gripping the weapon. The shotgun shell, due to this logic, should have been on the right side. However, it was on the left. Police then explained that by saying the gun spun around and the shell ended up on his left, which is impossible because he would have already died due to the heroin, meaning that when you die, I forget the exact scientific name, but you develop this grip. Whatever you're gripping, you grip, and that shotgun wouldn't have been able to move. Also, shotguns don't do fucking flips. They're not gymnasts.
Shotguns don't have kickbacks like that, yeah.
I'll be right back.
So once more, guys, it's soaked and bleached. I mean, if you got an hour and a half on your hands, definitely give it a look. Yeah, Tom Graham was the PI. He did an unreal job. I believe he worked with the maker, or the producer, whatever it is, of the documentary firsthand. So it's good shit. It's real good shit. And before I even watched, I'd heard Jeffrey mention Kurt Cobain's suicide and stuff like that, but I never thought even in like the least bit that it was a attempted, maybe a possible homicide.
And
but after that, I'm kind of sold.
Like, why should fucking Seattle PD and Courtney Love be able to get away with this shit? We got mass cover-ups going on right now, and we're letting these fucking losers get away with that shit?
Yeah.
It's wrong.
You made a good point. You said it doesn't even matter if they're famous or not. But the fact that they are famous, the fact that
That's
Kurt
why it got
Cobain
attention.
affected so many people's lives in a positive way. You know what I mean?
And there's
I
just
don't know
not
if you
one
remember,
thing about this case that makes sense.
in the documentary, remember how they said after that there were cases of Nirvana fans killing themselves after Cobain's death.
Oh yeah,
People
a lot of
killed
people
themselves.
followed. That's what he was
Yeah.
talking about. There was a lot of copycats thinking that that's what like Cobain would have wanted.
So not only is the
That's an
death
actual
potentially
fact.
on Courtney Love's
You guys
hands,
can
deaths
Google,
of
you can
innocent
fact
people.
check any of this information.
100%. This is all at you're searching
Is
with a
this
finger here.
recording?
Yes.
Okay.
See on the bottom right there? It
I
says
didn't
25.
think
Yeah.
it was recording.
That would
I would-
freaking suck.
I would have killed myself.
That would suck.
Oh my
That would
god.
have sucked.
Oh man. Tell you what. There's a new movie coming out.
What are we talking?
The Invisible Man.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why this isn't scaring everyone else. When they start developing invisible technology, that's when my paranoia seeks up to here, and I'm just gonna constantly get a knife and just go like this, no matter
I've
where
heard
I
the
go.
Bob Lazar thing about the invisible people.
I don't like that shit.
If anyone knows who Bob Lazar is, he
Should be illegal.
worked at S4.
Should be worse than chemicals. It's just awful.
Do
Why?
you think that's going to happen soon? I was talking about this
I
with these
think-
guys on the last podcast.
I think that we
more
are
or less.
20, if not more, years ahead of them.
That's what I said.
Than we are right now.
We had drones in World War One, and we had VR headset patent in 1957. We are definitely at least 100, if not 200 years ahead of what we can even comprehend right now, in my opinion. I think you're being
We're ahead.
very generous with 20 years. I think that's a huge understatement.
Tell you what, we're definitely ahead. It's a fact. It's not a fact, actually.
I mean,
It's a thought.
if you look up the
It's a fact.
Nazis having UFOs, the Nazis built man-made UFOs. We had unmanned fighter planes in 1917. What the fuck?
What else did you have on your little topic list?
What topic was? Oh, the moon landing. I wanted to talk about that. That's one of the ultimate conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? The moon landing.
Ow. Yeah.
What is your view on it?
Oh.
Please don't sugarcoat it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't have a view.
Fair enough.
Because I don't know enough about it.
Okay.
I'll tell you some things I've heard. Heard that we've got told not to come back
By ET races.
by something.
Okay.
I've heard it's a space station. I've also heard normal theories. That we went to the moon in 1969. We haven't been back since. That's what NASA believes. That's what they say. I think other people have gone. I think that we've sent like drones and shit up there. I don't know. Some space bullshit. But I think that there's a lot of theories and that this fire is killing my face. Oh my god.
It's targeted you. Let me move this log. Move
the
this
wind.
log for you.
You can keep going. You can carry on.
No, there's definitely, like with any major conspiracy theory, there's definitely going to be alternate perspectives and ideas on it. My personal one is, I believe we went. I think we might have faked the footage. Now, don't ask me why, but there's a lot of things that stick out. I mean, it looks like they're hooked up to wires, the way they jump, the way they move. Elmer pointed out before we started, the flag is shown blowing in the wind. I mean, last time I checked, there's no wind in space. I don't know. One of the things that's very interesting to me is, I can't think of it, Michael Kubrick, the man who directed The Shining with Jack Nicholson. His daughter came out and said that he worked with NASA on making a fake version of the moon landing in case the astronauts died on the way back. I mean, on the way up. So that either way, we could have won the space race with Russia. Now, we
I mean,
definitely...
that's like, I believe that logic. I'm not saying
I
believe
do...
it.
Like, that makes
Saying
sense.
It makes sense.
Because we had to beat Russia one way or another. I do know that Edgar Mitchell, the 14th man to walk on the moon, I think it is, or something like that, or he was on Apollo 14, one or the other. I might get this mixed up. He is very strong in saying that we met aliens on the moon. Buzz Aldrin has been on record saying that they've seen UFOs on the moon.
There also was how many minutes of undocumented time on the moon?
Over like 20 hours, I'm pretty sure. Like, they were up there for a very
But like
long
when
time.
it was live, there was like 14 minutes where we didn't see anything.
Really?
You didn't know about this?
Interesting. No.
No, I
There
didn't.
was some time like this where it was like while it was live and the public was watching, there was a bunch of minutes that they went off and they essentially did that on purpose, just to have it like, Houston, we have a problem. Houston and NASA, not NASA, the astronauts just talking.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be on purpose delay, but yeah,
I think there was definitely an incentive for us to fake it if we did, though. We had to beat Russia. They had already put a man in space. Though
We did have to beat
touchdown.
Russia.
We had to. It was not a question of.
I mean, when are we losing? We're always winning.
I don't know about that logic.
We're always winning.
I don't know about that logic.
USA, baby. We're always winning.
I mean, in my opinion, the loss of any life is not a win. That's how I see it.
Alright.
And so we're. No, I'm
Guys
just
making me feel bad.
No, I'm not saying like we're winning. We're winning, but I don't think anyone truly wins in a war or in.
I don't mean a war. I just meant that we beat them in hockey, right?
Oh, we were going two different ways
We
with that.
beat them on the moon landing.
Okay, yeah.
We're always winning. Jesus, we didn't
Josh
have a
goes
war
with
with
the
All right.
them.
Well,
Worst
no one
thing
wins against
all time.
Khabib, so they got us in
All right,
UFC.
relax. with
Well,
the
Khabib is an unstoppable human.
He's an unstoppable
Tony Ferguson's
human.
gonna fuck him up.
I
Colin.
I don't think Conor McGregor will ever lose again.
Bro, if
I don't
him
know.
and Conor went at it,
They went at it when he was being an idiot.
Conor would outstrike him,
He
but
was
he would
in
not
it. Yeah,
out-wrestle him.
No,
Definitely
he just
Conor,
wouldn't.
Connor got outstriked. He got out-wrestled. He got out-kicked.
Yeah, the whole fight.
He
Bro.
got every single fight. I mean, not every single fight. Every single aspect of that fight, Conor McGregor lost. I'm not trying to take that away.
On a
He got
good
his
day,
fucking ass beat
Yeah.
every single
on a
getting
good
his ass
day,
beat.
Conor could outstrike Khabib. On his best day, he would not stand a chance against his grappling and wrestling.
He might not, but he might
No,
not.
he won't.
Dude,
might.
I mean, look
No.
what he did to Nate Diaz.
Bro,
Who was that last dude he just fought and beat him with the shoulder?
Cowboy. That's
Cowboy.
bro.
I mean,
That's-
bro, that's what I mean. Ever since the Cowboy fight, he's not losing. Ever since McGregor's
You
170
can't
now,
say that, dude.
bro, I
You
will
can't
say
just
it. It's a
that.
hot
I-
take.
I
It's a hot
agree.
take, bro. He's a tank now. He muscled up after the Khabib fight. Habib, I think his name is actually pronounced
I don't
Habib.
give a fuck. He's an unstoppable force. That's what
so
he is.
Why wouldn't you say his name right then?
Go
But
fuck yourself. I'll put respect on his name.
shut up. After
Yeah, that's what you get, you piece of shit.
Oh my god, this fucking
Jesus.
this is awful. After this, after he
Fuck you,
lost to
buddy.
Khabib, he literally said, "I'm gonna take a page out of LeBron James's book," and he spent millions on his own personal health.
That's great for
And
him.
then his next fight after, he won in 40 seconds. He also beat the guy with the most UFC wins in all time.
Habib is undefeated. I'm just saying he's the best grappler in UFC
Undefeated until fucking
Until what? Until someone beats him?
until the Mystic Mac comes back.
Bro, just
And
speaking
fucks him up.
I'd
Precision
love.
beats power.
Listen, they
and
definitely
timing
have to
beats
have that
speed.
fight. They're gonna have to do a rematch of
Precision
that fight.
beats
100%.
power.
That's gonna
timing
have to
beats
happen.
speed.
We'll see it when it happens. Right now, I'm saying Tony Ferguson is the only person on earth who could stop him. And we're gonna.
I don't know if I fuck with Tony Ferguson's vibe. I think he's
You're
gonna.
talking batting gloves and baseball. Is that your fucking?
Yeah, I don't like his whole Fonzie little outfit. Going on. I don't really. What
a
is
bad
What is
man.
he always talking about?
He's a
I have
bad
no
man.
idea. I would love to escalate this podcast into UFC.
We should do a UFC.
I got shit to
episode.
talk about. No, but
I don't
Yeah.
know enough about it to like sit down for a whole hour or some shit like that. But
we could get into it.
I definitely it's a fun sport to get into, man, because you can't fuck around in the ring.
I don't think. I'll go ahead. I'll say the hot take. Don't think McGregor's losing. My guy Tyson Fury, he's coming out. He's gonna beat Deontay Wilder's ass again. He will never lose. Never. Tyson
Never.
Fury. Imagine saying to
Never.
yourself, "I'm going to try to beat someone who is 6'9", 275 pounds." Imagine trying to fight that person. He has a custom stool, probably the size of you. Like, there's a bunch of people partying. in this
Big
woods
party
right
in
now.
the woods behind us here, guys. So if you hear that,
Bunch
sorry.
of Milton kids. We don't like Milton kids.
All right, let's switch up the topic real quick. What do you think about Trump's chances for re-election?
Trump in re-election.
Think he's got in the bag or what?
I think he has it in the bag. He's
Yeah.
took the bag home. He's had sex with the bag. He's in the bag. He's holding the bag. He's in the bag. He fucking lives in the bag now. He's got this whole re-election in the bag. I think that Joe Biden is going to take down Donald Trump is just beyond ridiculous.
My question-
the communist Bernie Sanders doesn't have a chance.
I think Bernie has a better chance of Joe, though.
No way.
No.
You don't?
I don't
No.
think I do. His
Biden's
ideas
willing
make no
to-
sense.
Biden can't
Let's just
form
say
two
I've been-
fucking
He's gonna
sentences.
win. I'm telling
Let's
you.
just say that
Bernie
I've been,
can speak though. That's the difference.
let's
He
just
can
say
speak.
that I've been taking history classes. I've been getting a little more educated. And the teacher, I don't know
Yeah,
what his
communism
political-
doesn't work, nor does socialism.
Yeah.
You don't have to like.
I know, but I'm just saying. I've just been getting more educated in this, and the teacher is very non-biased. I mean, he's pretty fair, and he was just saying that like Bernie's ideas sound good. His
It
ideas,
always
his
does.
principles sound good. You know,
Sounded
The
good for
Green Deal,
Venezuela.
Let's make the earth cleaner. Who's
No.
disagreeing
Fuck
with that?
AOC. I am, because fuck AOC.
Well, hold on. Who's disagreeing with let's make the earth greener? But when you have a $96 trillion plan,
I am.
then the question goes to ask,
I am.
well, how the fuck are we going to pay
Because
for
global
that?
warming's not happening. That's why I'm not
Well,
for it.
hold on. We can get into that after.
We will, because
But
I've been waiting.
fuck are you going to pay
a bold
for a
statement.
$96 trillion plan and then take off college debt? And if you're going to take away college debt, what are you going to do for the dad who just worked 3 jobs trying to save up for college? Does he get his money back? You've seen the video of a guy going up to Elizabeth Warren and asking that very question. Elizabeth Warren essentially told him to go fuck himself. So, Elizabeth Warren, oh my god. Was she a serious candidate? What was up with that?
Bro, I don't know if Joe
She's like
Biden
a
is still a
meme.
serious candidate. Joe Biden
He
can't
is. He's
speak.
gonna win the
You
Democratic.
can't
But
hate
that's-
on any other
hear me out.
candidate because they can form a
Hear me out, but
sentence.
that's what they want. They want someone who's stupid, where shit will go over his
He's
head.
not stupid. He's mentally challenged.
We
He
ain't got
has
no sports that's
Alzheimer's.
bet on
dude.
this election.
That's what his party wants, so that they can just put things through him,
Bro.
so that he won't double think
Yes,
about
but
it.
do they think the American people? Clearly, some of the American people are in position to vote. People are
Well, when
supporting the guy.
every mass media besides Fox News is saying that Trump is Hitler, I mean, what else are you gonna expect? I'm making a cup of coffee.
You
Yo,
make a cup of
I
coffee.
bet you $200 that Joe Biden wins.
If you
The
had $200,
Democrat.
bet the week.
I got $200.
Ripped. What up, boys? We got Elmer and Joe from the last podcast. Put your heads in real
Well,
quick.
Elmer
Let me
was
see.
in the last.
Oh yeah, Elmer. This is Elmer over here.
What we
one.
doing?
Wait, I'm not.
And we got
I
Joe from
can't,
the last
that's
one. Yeah, Joe's got the fire, but this dude's Sully, man. I'll tell you, he talks so much shit. He's not wrong though. Socialism. We've talked about this, right?
Joe
We talked
Biden
about this
can't
in
form a
depth.
Yeah.
sentence.
Bro, have you ever seen a video of Joe Biden speak? All right, after this podcast, I'm gonna show you some videos of this man literally struggling to say anything.
Yeah, he's.
Dude, there's too many videos of him struggling.
He's
I'm serious.
100% gonna beat Bernie.
But you know what the scary thing is, bro? People are voting for this dude. Like people are supporting
That's
Biden,
what I mean. He's gonna win the Democratic.
bro. But he shouldn't. Like I don't fuck
He
with
shouldn't.
socialism,
He
but
really
like
should not.
I want
but
someone who's coherent enough to actually speak a sentence.
You
know
have
what
the
I mean?
best speaker of all time, Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump. Trump's gonna. The thing is,
He
though, when it
pres-
comes to
he
election
just
time,
got
he's gonna
tough
rip into
talking.
either one of them.
Yeah, I know.
Undeniably gonna.
Trump's
rip into
biggest problem is that he
them. He talks too much.
talks too much, and the way he goes about what he says is the complete opposite of what
Yeah.
he should be. But
She was
I
gonna
mean,
catch on fire.
Yeah, I was thinking
That was a bold move.
but like he's really like he
Fuck it.
just.
What do you guys think about the moon landing? I should have asked you guys about this when we were talking about it.
I
everyone's got different
kind of
opinions.
swayed towards your side, but
Yeah.
not really. I think it was completely real, but in the case that, like, I think it is suspicious about the flag and stuff.
So you don't think the Earth is flat?
No.
What?
I'm just throwing it out there.
You think the Earth is
No,
flat?
I do not think the Earth is flat.
Earth? That's one of the most stupid things
Bro,
Kyrie Irving,
that
man.
were
I've
ever
gone down
asked.
that rabbit hole.
Oh,
And
Of
it's
course you
it's
have.
appealing. Like it's
But
not
it's
believable.
not possible. It's literally not possible.
I don't know about that. See, that's where I differ. I
Okay.
can
You
appreciate
ready?
people who believe the Earth is flat.
Hop on a boat, go toward the end of the Earth.
I'm not saying it falls off, dude. I'm not one of those types of people.
No,
I
that's what
believe you
happens.
live
so
on
how's
the
it
globe.
flat then?
If it's flat,
Bro.
you're falling off.
The
No
way
other
the
way
way I
about
see it is if we're on a flat plane, it's kind of the same way that the universe is infinite. There's no end to it. Maybe there's no end to the flat plane. I'm just spitballing. I don't think many people believe that. A lot of people think we're closed in by some globe or something, like stars and the moon around. Like I've gone down the rabbit hole. I can see where the appeal is with it, especially when you're a huge conspiracy theorist, because that's like the epitome of conspiracy theories. fucking flat Earth, dude. But you can't convince someone of that shit.
That is 100% the stupidest debate I've ever heard.
Dude, you see,
It's so
dude,
common, but
dude, you
it's
can't
so
argue
stupid.
someone about it. You can't teach someone to believe in it. You have to believe in it yourself. If you believe it, you believe it.
I mean, you
but
gotta
it's
tell the guy to
literally
go
not
sail.
possible.
Take a fucking
Yeah, hop
boat.
on a boat, buddy.
Go around the
My
world.
question is
nigga.
why?
Fucking
Here,
boat,
I'm gonna
buddy.
play devil's advocate
excuse
because I truly believe this. Why are there no pictures of the Earth, bro? They're all CGI composites.
I don't know what we're talking
We're
about.
talking about flat Earth. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm
Hey,
saying,
by the way,
Why would they
Peter,
be lying?
Peter, if you're
Is what
watching this, you didn't think I had a coffee last time, but here's your proof.
he spilled
asshole.
that shit last time.
I did spill that shit last time.
He was quite upset about it.
It was awful coffee. I had no cream.
That's cream. You got cream this time?
I do like black coffee though.
I do like black
It's
coffee.
good. So. What are we talking
I
about?
love black coffee.
What the hell are we talking about? I heard you not believing the Earth's
The
real.
Earth is
No,
Flat
no,
Earth, flat
The
Earth.
Earth
No,
is flat.
I don't believe in
Don't-
flat Earth. No,
Isn't
no,
that the-
listen to me.
Don't ruin this podcast
Listen to
over
me.
some
That's
stupid
what I'm
ass
Listen to me.
shit.
Listen to me. First of all, the idea of a
sky is green, brother. I'm trying to
See,
convince you.
this is the problem. If someone was doing this shit about you talking about 9/11, would you get upset? Because there's most definitely
No,
people in
I
this world.
understand now. I understand where you're coming about. I'm not trying to shut it down.
I don't believe in
I'm a
it.
sh-
I'm saying people most definitely
Well,
do.
Then get your face in the video and show everyone who you are and explain to them your understanding.
If anyone is a flat earther, please get in touch
you-
with me.
are
I
you
would
just-
love to discuss this.
Are you like? Are you being serious about the flat Earth thing? Or?
No, he doesn't.
So
believe
wait.
it.
I mean, we can get into a Joe Rogan, Alex Jones thing here. Like,
Serious
Do you
question,
think I
serious question.
believe
like Eddie
it?
Bravo, I'll send you on a
I'll send you on
goddamn
a
voyage,
voyage.
and
You know-
I
Do you
will,
think
I
I
will pay for
believe
it.
it?
Hold on.
Because I don't.
You know how
One conversation was what?
You know how you think 9/11 was
An inside
fake?
job. Yes, I do.
Why would they frame Osama bin Laden?
In the 1980s, I'm really fucking glad you asked. In the 1980s, the Soviets were invading the Middle East, okay?
Yeah.
And the natives, who would later become Al Qaeda, decided to band together under the regime and leadership of Osama bin Laden's father. They were huge business moguls. I'm pretty sure it was oil and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
And then the CIA got involved because the CIA, from the 60s to the 80s, they did these things called proxy wars where they would overthrow governments and put puppets in the place of them so that they would have foreign dictators running shit who were in their back pocket. Osama bin Laden was a CIA informant in the 80s during all this. We gave them weapons, money, and training. So we started Al Qaeda directly, and this is not a conspiracy, this is facts. We started Al Qaeda. After they pushed out the Soviets, they realized they were a powerhouse, so they could fuck with America at this point. Because if they fucked up Russia, they could have no problem fucking up America. So most definitely, I think, but I don't think that Osama had anything to do with it. I think he got framed for it. I think it was most definitely the U.S. government and Israel, and Saudi Arabia actually. I've thought about this question quite a lot.
See, I was wondering.
Jesus,
They are going crazy
Christ.
in there.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that was a party back there.
I'll tell you what, these people have run through my yard before evading the cops, and I promise you, I literally promise you, if one person steps their foot on my lawn tonight, I'm clotheslining them all as they're running. I'm setting up booby traps, and they're all going to be locked in a 6-foot hole for 2 weeks. But
Back to flat Earth real quick. I hate to beat a dead
we're
body.
jumping around topics too
We
much
have
here.
to, dude.
Flat
my one
Earth.
thing is one fucking thing. And
Put
look,
another log on that thing. Fucking
my
die.
one thing. Why are there no pictures of the Earth from outer space? There's only CGI man-made composites that I've seen. I've never seen a real picture.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's wrong.
But
I'm
it's
gonna go ahead
not.
and say
That's the thing. It's
definitely-
not, dude. Y'all are tripping.
There's
And
definitely
also, why would they?
NASA
What-
openly admits
why
they
would-
make CGI composites. That's
But
not a
why would
conspiracy.
why
Like,
would
there's
they
definitely
lie?
pictures of the Earth.
Yeah.
bro?
And
Then again, I
also,
don't
why
know.
would they
How we know
lie
it's
about the
I will
Earth being?
keep that. I will keep an open mind. I don't know it for a fact.
You know what's
However, I'm going to go ahead and assume. But when you assume things, you make an ass out of you and me. And I don't know, man. I got a real good feeling we have pictures of the Earth.
Listen, I'm just going to put it in perspective for you. I'm saying there's a 95% chance the Earth is round and a 5% chance it's flat. I'm on that type of logic.
Not even close.
You ever sit there and just think that? Think about space never ending.
Yeah,
Your
we
brain-
talked about this on the other day. Remember
Your
that?
brain stops. 'Cause
You can't
we
comprehend
can't
infinite.
fathom that concept. We can't. What's the percentage on how much we've seen of the ocean? 5% of our
I
Earth's
think so.
ocean we've
See, I
explored.
call bullshit on that. We've definitely seen more than 5. I know you're referring to, but like, dude,
You think we go lower?
bro, I think
Like,
if we keep going
the-
lower, we're gonna hit inner oceans. Like,
Bro.
y'all hip to the oceans inside of the Earth? Because there's huge bodies of water inside the Earth that
Is there
scientists have
fire?
found. No, there's water in there, bro. That's what's crazy. That's why we haven't touched our oceans. I think we got some crazy shit down there that they don't want us to talk about.
I thought going to the core.
Let's just talk
You
about.
think that, but bro, look
Let's
up.
talk about what we're supposed to know.
I'll show you after this podcast.
Meaning, let's pretend the government isn't hiding anything.
Okay.
What we're told is that space doesn't end. Angels are real, and that fucking we've only seen 5% of the ocean. That's what I was born to believe. A lot of people are born to believe different religions, but I was born to believe that angels are real, and like I just said, all that shit. We're born to believe shit, and if we don't question it, then the truth will actually never come out.
So
And
that's why I don't bash flat earthers, because if you're gonna, if you
and you
want
got a good point. I was kind of bashing it first.
Oh, I have as well.
Because I don't really believe in it, but I will keep an open mind to it. I can't be a hypocrite.
Oh, the way I
also
see this, I've never been
fully-
to space. I've never seen the fucking curvature
See,
of the
but then
Earth.
Joe Rogan had a good thought on this. You can't start questioning. I guess you can,
No, you most definitely.
but it gets too tricky when you start questioning basic laws of life, basic logic. Like
Basic
sky
logic
blue,
says that.
we're in a galaxy, the universe, Earth, that kind of stuff. When you start questioning, well, I've never seen it. So I've thought about this too. I've never seen it, but like, it's almost better to just accept it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You shouldn't have to blindly accept it when you have the. We have free will for a reason. Free will inclines that we have the freedom to think for ourselves.
I'm not
in
saying that
any
you
aspect.
can't. I'm just saying you're gonna go crazy.
Dude, if there's any flat earthers watching right now, they're fucking loving me. I'll tell you that. I got all their support right now. I don't believe it, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it could be. There's a
No.
5% chance.
99.91%.
What?
So there's 9.
What did you just say?
9%?
Jesus
There's
Christ. dude.
0.09
Spilling shit, bro. Left and
percent.
right.
chance that it
All right,
could be
let's-
real.
What's final verdict on Donald Trump? Do you think he's going to win re-election? Because that's what we brought
are-
up before.
We gotta do a new podcast soon because we are jumping too many topics.
Dude, who gives a fuck? It's unfiltered. That's what the point is. We're just doing
It's
topics.
unfiltered, but we gotta. We
Wow.
shouldn't be unorganized. We gotta get. A
Oh,
little
you got me
organized.
there. That's a sound bite right there.
Well, this was brought up before.
We can go back to
What?
What the fuck are
Jesus
you talking about?
Because you said we should start new because we're jumping so many topics, but we already talked about this one.
Which
We're
one?
just doing
Donald
back.
Trump?
Donald Trump and the re-election.
I'm gonna leave him alone.
All right, let's talk to the new. We'll get a new talking point here. What do you think? You heard about Bill Gates stepping down as CEO?
I
the
haven't, but I
chair
thought
of the
that
board?
happened mad long ago.
Nah, like he stepped down from the board of Microsoft.
What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is the CEO of Disney, MasterCard, Hulu, IBM, Uber Eats.
Oh, mad
Chipotle.
CEOs
Bro,
recently pulled out.
What is going on?
Mad CEOs pulled out recently.
What's happening?
I don't know, bro.
I'll tell
I
you,
don't know.
my opinion. You know how I said that thing about Donald Trump and how all the arrests are about to start happening? I think these motherfuckers are getting scared of what's about to happen. Now I'm not making the
Tell
accusation
you what,
that
if
people,
Trump took down all those people, he would be deemed the greatest president of all time.
if he could prove that
I
all
would love to hear the liberals' reaction.
Dude,
yeah, well,
I
it was
wanna-
his idea in the first place.
I want to hear the reaction to the fact that he's had more arrests of pedophiles than any other president in history.
Did you know that?
Over
No, you didn't.
10,000. 10,000.
No, you didn't know that. No,
Obama didn't.
You didn't
Obama
know
had
that.
1,000.
you didn't know that. You did not know that.
None of
You don't
these
gotta
people
like the guy, but you gotta like results. Best economy we've ever fucking had. I mean, until the coronavirus kind of fucked us. But I mean, and I'm not even the biggest Trump guy. That's the thing. I've gone back and forth with him. Right now, I'm pretty for him. But what made me really fuck with him the most is just he's getting shit done, dude. Lowest unemployment in the history. I mean, this isn't an endorsement for Trump. I don't. If someone runs for president,
Yes, it
they're better
is.
than Trump. I'll absolutely side with them if they're better than Trump. It's not about the person. It's about their fucking beliefs and their actual execution of things. Like I fuck with Tulsi Gabbard. She's a Democrat. I really fuck with Andrew Yang. He's a Democrat. I got no problem. I don't care about political ideologies. I care about if you're gonna get shit done in a productive way that's better for this nation. And you're not a fucking puppet.
That fire is real nice.
I hope you guys are enjoying that fire. That was pretty nice.
Let's talk about the fire. He couldn't set it up.
No.
Couldn't set it up.
At all.
started
He
going
did
a little
everything
TP,
wrong.
Little TP style, and they all hated on me before.
TP and look at the style we have it at now.
Look
Man,
at,
y'all
look
are
at, look
tripping.
at. The TP definitely works. Right. We know it works.
I know, 100%.
All I'm saying that I don't fuck with the TP.
The TP
I mean,
is
we
the
this
most
way.
productive fire.
I
method.
play Jenga. It's better.
But the Native Americans knew what they were doing.
This is the
If the
easiest.
Native Americans knew what the fuck they were doing, why didn't your fire work?
Because I didn't get enough time to.
Was it because you put wet leaves in the bottom?
I did do that. But why you got wet leaves sitting around? Why you got
You
wet
lit up
leaves
the
sitting
wrong
around?
part of the
nature.
fire
Yeah.
starter.
Bruh.
We live in New England. Weather sucks.
Man, if we was in nature right now, I would have made that fire so much faster.
You
If our
have
life
not a
was dependent on it,
chance.
if our life was dependent on it,
You did in a quarter of the time you did,
Let me ask.
and yours
all right,
didn't
I'm
work.
gonna blame the education system for not teaching me how to make a fire. That's what I'm gonna do.
Shit on Boy Scouts, pal.
I shouldn't have to. I should have been taught a basic survival skill and fucking basic education.
In modern day America,
Yeah, you don't think it's useful to know how to build a fire?
I mean, I don't think it's school worthy information.
That's a crazy statement. That's bro. Would you think that? Maybe
What?
I'm overthinking. You think school should teach you like basic survival shit? Like,
Well, no,
for
I
instance,
mean like making a fire specifically.
yeah, there should be a whole class dedicated to
That's
fires.
what I meant. Like, I don't
There
think
should be a
that.
class like basic living where you learn like CPR and shit, like things that come in handy that
Nah,
you don't
yeah,
think
I
about.
think that
but
could be
you
a
will
cool
need
like
one.
elective class.
Nah, that shouldn't be an elective, but it should be a
I
mandatory.
think that I've taken the American Revolution at least four different years throughout my public education.
Shit started in 3rd grade.
And I definitely could have filled in some different slots for that.
That is
I'm not
very
saying I didn't have to
valid.
learn about it. I just didn't have to for what time.
Don't you guys think that, for instance, CPR and the Heimlich, wouldn't those be good things to teach up and coming adults in the real world?
There's arguments on that because you should be certified
Yeah.
in order to perform CPR. And if you aren't certified, you can actually kill the person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
You should be able to
understand
get
your argument.
certified in that could be an elective.
It could.
Maybe that
However,
class
it
could be an
expires
elective.
every year.
I think it'd be a
Sucks.
cool elective class.
Expires every year. What do they teach
Yeah.
a new way to fucking give CPR
No, you
every
just
year?
have to get renewed every year. Swear to God.
Really?
I was
That's
CPR certified last year.
That's actually not a bad thing, I guess.
For what?
I'm CPR certified, bro. I was.
For
But-
what? Like what?
Maybe you
I
just
had
wanna
my
save a
license.
life.
I had my OSHA 10. I had everything.
Oh, shit.
OSHA 10 still. My OSHA 10 still good, but I just.
Y'all organ donors?
Yeah, not anymore. I changed that. I
All
don't know why. I was feeling real selfish.
You son of a bitch.
Honestly,
I think I am.
I was
I
at
don't
first. I was like,
think
that's
I
a good
am.
idea. Then I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm pretty sure when I got my
I'll
license.
tell you what, I
was
just
like-
got my motorcycle permit. I told you that?
Did you?
I just got my motorcycle permit, and I'm not a organ donor. I'm not an organ donor.
It has.
I am on my
I just-
drivers, though. So,
I
Bro,
like,
don't.
literally depends if I die on
I mean,
my
we-
bike.
I don't fuck
No one
with
else lives.
motorcycles, bro.
But, like, if I die in my car, someone might survive.
Like we don't need our organs when we die. Why the like I don't know why more people aren't for it.
I'm pretty sure I was just like, nah, like, well, do they really need mine? You know how many?
Dude, you
people
could
do
save
Well,
20
Open
lives.
studies,
but also,
Yeah,
I feel
but
like we haven't addressed this.
realistically-
We have Elmer sitting over here.
Oh no, we did that when you went
wait,
inside.
And we have... Okay.
yeah.
Go
That's a
fuck
lot.
yourself.
Good looks though.
Well, alright, I think we should go around fire real quick. And any thoughts on what happens life after death? We will start with Elmer,
Oh, we talked about this.
Joe.
last time.
Shit.
me, and the man himself. You go first.
I personally believe.
Talk up. Speak up.
Speak up for the camera.
I personally believe you go to heaven, and
No
that's
judgment, by the way.
No, I was gonna say
whatever
that.
you
I was
want.
gonna disclose that.
what I was taught in my religion, so I'm gonna stick with that.
Respectable man right there.
Okay, so we did talk about this last time. So, I got 3 different reasons
Sorry.
that I think are very possible. One being like a normal heaven, but different from like, obviously you're not gonna be like standing on clouds or whatever. I think heaven is more of something that is like whatever your heaven is, like
your personal
in your
idea
head,
of it.
yeah, that's what you see. Like even you'll be in heaven seeing people that are still alive on earth. It's all soul kind of thing.
Okay. So your projection of your innermost cherished
Yeah.
people and thought. Okay,
And everything you have, everything you ever wanted, anything.
Okay.
My other
I
reason,
don't know how the fuck that just fell.
my second reason is, I think that there's a chance that, like reincarnation, like the flash before your eyes is almost like you being born again.
Interesting.
My
Very interesting.
my third one I have, my last one, is that I think that there's a chance that you just repeat, like you almost repeat your life. Like when you die,
See, I'm not a fan of that one.
when you die in like that flash and you're born again, and it's just back in,
So-
like for me it'd be back in 2000.
So real quick, time out. Do you claim a religion? You
Uh,
said you did. What religion?
Seventh-day Adventist.
Say that again.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Seventh.
It's a form of like
Day-
Christianity, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Seventh
a
Day
heaven.
Adventist.
Yeah.
What's the last word?
Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay. So do you claim a religion? Christianity?
Yeah, I'd say I'm Catholic, but it's
I feel
different.
like we should just claim if you claim a religion, just say it.
I claim no religion.
All right, well,
say-
we're
But
not
I'm-
at you yet.
Oh, I
We're
thought
not
you.
at Josh.
I thought.
Yeah,
No, you made it seem like we was like everyone saying.
No,
real
I'm just
quick.
saying after the last
Oh,
thing.
all right. Forget
Roman
what I said.
Catholic.
So do you have anything else you want to add?
That like I don't.
Yeah,
Look,
can I grab a
I
water?
believe in the religion. I don't believe in the church.
But you just think there could also be other possibilities,
Yes.
like you said, reincarnation, because that's obviously not
No.
from the Catholic Church at all. That has
No.
nothing to do with.
Or Buddhist and Taoist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to grab it here?
All right. My opinions. I think. No offense to anyone here.
No judgment.
None taken.
brother.
I think it's kind of ignorant to think you know what happens when you die. I think that if you have faith, that's different from knowing. Some
Yeah.
people say they have faith, like Elmer here, but then some people like to argue with me and say that they know what's gonna happen when they die.
You don't know.
I don't think anyone knows, and I definitely claim no religion. I'm not one of those people that's like, no religion, brother. Like, peace, love, dude. But like, I just simply don't have a religion. I don't think we know what happens when we die. I don't think anyone does, and I think that I'm not going to sit around and wait to find out. I'm just going to live my life. But there's one thing that I can tell you. Shout out Michael Whalen.
Hey, Mikey.
Energy never dies, people. Energy doesn't die. It goes somewhere. That's what I'll leave you with.
All right. I claim no religion. Grew up Catholic. Wasn't a fan of it, personally. I do believe in a higher power. When we die, I'm pretty sure this is my subjective truth on it. Obviously not objective at all. I can't prove it. I think, like Joe said, the reincarnation aspect plays into a big part of it. I think when we die, we're kind of self-judged on ourselves, on how we lived our lives, and depending on that, you reincarnate into another physical body. Say for instance, you killed 20 people in your life. You probably had a life grade. Well, I'll put it simple. So I think in your next life, maybe, you'll be a bug or something. You won't be like, you're not going to be like the epitome of the food chain. You know what I mean? Like, you have to work. If you want to be something good, you have to work to make the difference for whatever your personal good is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, like the heaven aspect, what Joe explained it pretty well. Like, it's whatever you want to be. I think if you ever get sick of reincarnating, I think we're powerful beings, to just be frank. Like, I think our soul is much more powerful than our physical body. That gets more of the spiritual side of things. But I think we can choose whether or not we want to reincarnate or go into a certain dimension, maybe, or a I don't know. Something like that. I believe in life after death, though. Because I've personally seen ghosts, so that shit kind of fucks me up there. I don't know what to do with that. Like, I've seen ghosts, so, like, I don't know what the fuck it kind of fucks everything I say up.
Just not something you drop on people.
I had
Like,
to.
I wish
I had
you told
to.
me this before.
I had to. I've seen many ghosts in my day. I have.
I
seen.
think we'll
You
save
never
that
heard
for
of
a
that
different
before?
podcast. I have.
That's
now
a
I'm thinking of
podcast
it.
right there.
I don't think we should. I don't think we want to make this too long.
No.
I agree.
In fact, we could actually end this on an exact hour. we have the opportunity coming.
What are we at?
5:59, 30.
30 seconds.
Oh, we're ending it at an hour exactly. We like even numbers out here. OCT shit. Remember, as soon as it hits an hour, press that. Just
Real
press
quick.
the left button.
Left button.
Not yet.
It is 10:22 p.m. 22:22.
Thank you for the
Saturday,
conversation.
March 14th.
Yes,
I'd
sir.
shake your hand, but I don't think we should. Hey, use your hand sanitizer. Take your shoes off before you go in your house.
Be smart. Don't
Wash
be a
your
retard.
hands for 30 seconds. Don't go in public places and wait till the shit's over.